Think about the physical logistics of hiding a single human body. It takes planning, secrecy, and resources. Now, multiply that effort by 25,000. If you look at this chart comparing state records to physical reality, the gap is vast. In the mid-1990s, official government ledgers showed a relatively low, flat line of civilian casualties. But if you walked into the local cremation grounds, the sheer number of burning pyres told a different story. This discrepancy between the paperwork and the ashes represented a logistical anomaly, evidence that a hidden system of disposal was operating in the shadows of the law. To understand how an operation of this magnitude was physically possible, we first have to look at the environment that gave it cover. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Indian state of Punjab was locked in a cycle of violence. Political disagreements between the central government and the state over regional autonomy, specifically demands outlined in the Anandpur Sahib Resolution, escalated into a full-scale armed insurgency. The tension peaked with Operation Blue Star, a military assault on the Golden Temple complex that fractured the region's relationship with the central government. In the aftermath, the state fought a sprawling rebellion. During this period, the Punjabi word Khadku, which historically described a bold freedom fighter, was adopted as a label for armed insurgents. To crush the rebellion, the state government gave its police force immense operational latitude. Soon, the label of Khadku became a convenient justification to target individuals far outside actual militant circles. Ordinary Sikh citizens, people with zero ties to activism or armed struggle, became targets. They simply started disappearing from their homes in the middle of the night. When a government suspends the rule of law to fight a war within its own borders, human lives can be erased without a paper trail. Jaswant Singh Khalra spent his career as a bank employee, a role defined by the management of exact, meticulous ledgers. He decided to tackle the missing persons crisis by ignoring the political noise and treating the situation as a rigid financial audit. This visualization maps his process. He systematically cross-referenced the state's official data on missing persons against the physical logs kept at the local Shamshan Ghats, the cremation grounds. His final tally revealed roughly 25,000 illegal, secret cremations carried out by the Punjab police. Khalra converted this data into an instrument of accountability. He took local rumors and turned them into hard, empirical math that the state could no longer ignore. A ledger detailing 25,000 secret killings was too explosive to keep quiet inside Punjab. Khalra traveled to North America, where he stood before members of the Canadian Parliament and presented his accounting of the missing citizens directly to the international community. Speaking out on the global stage triggered a severe reaction from local authorities back in India. On September 6, 1995, during the tenures of Chief Minister Jaswant Singh and Police Chief KPS Gill, Khalra was abducted outside his home in Amritsar. Exposing the machinery of a state-sponsored cover-up made him its next victim. Khalra was murdered, and his body was never found. The establishment successfully silenced the man, but they failed to destroy his ledger. The data Khalra compiled was so undeniable that it forced India's Central Bureau of Investigation to launch a comprehensive probe into the local police force. The case wound its way through the justice system, culminating in the Supreme Court of India sentencing 6 police officers to life imprisonment for Khalra's kidnapping, torture, and murder. Even decades later, this history remains raw, and telling it still faces significant institutional resistance. Recently, a biographical film about Khalra, starring Diljit Dosanjh, originally titled Punjab 95, faced intense pushback. The censor board demanded 120 cuts before the movie finally secured a streaming release on Z5 under the title Satluj. Whether it's physically burning evidence in the 1990s or demanding cinematic cuts today, institutions consistently try to sanitize their darkest chapters, but hard data, once brought to the surface, refuses to be erased.